Hello everybody, my name is Hughie, and in my last video I explained why I've been away and why I stopped uploading Pokémon Go content, but my reasons in that video didn't take into account the fact that you can play this game for free. So even though I did have a bit of a problem with my spending on this game, I've gone back to it and I'm learning to enjoy it again through a free-to-play approach. And in the time that I've been back, I've been doing a lot of Team Rocket content in this game, which means that I've collected quite a few Shadow Pokémon, and there's a lot of these Pokémon that can be evolved that I never have evolved, and that gives you a Dex entry for the Shadow version of that Pokémon. So I thought that I would go through, do some evolutions, and then do some tidying up as I go, because lots of these Shadow Pokémon I'll never use for anything, and I might as well transfer to the Professor. So, starting off with this Snorlax, which isn't really much to write home about, and this can't evolve anyway, so I've got the Dex entry for this, so away the Snorlax goes. Scyther, Scyther, 2 stars, 15, 6, 13, and again I don't really need to keep this one, but I can evolve it into a Scizor. So let me just check if I have a better Shadow Scyther. Oh, I could spell it properly to begin with. Okay, I've actually got I've got 3 Shadow Scyther. Let's check these out. And this one seems to be, well, I've marked it for the Ultra League. So presumably, let's just check. Did I mark it for the Ultra League for Scyther or Scizor? It must have been Scizor. So let's evolve Shadow Scyther to get Shadow Scizor, which I've never had before. I don't think I've actually got any powerful bug type Pokemon, so maybe a Shadow Scizor would be worth having. I know the Shadow effect adds quite a lot of DPS, doesn't it? Okay, which means these 2 Scyther can be transferred to the Professor. Away they go. So I see Shadow Gible here, and okay, that's a pretty average Shadow Gible. Let's just check out. I know I've got loads of Gible because I went really hard on the Gible Community Day a few years ago. So I've got lots of shinies and ones saved as favourites, but Shadow Gible, I believe, is a relatively new addition. I would say this is probably my best Shadow Gible, so I'm going to evolve this Gible into Shadow Gabite. I just had to change my computer settings so that it wouldn't go into screensaver mode, and I can check that it's still recording. There we go. Shadow Gabite is my shortest Gabite ever, apparently. And I've got 3,644 Gible Candy, so we're not going to miss much by evolving into Garchomp. There we go, Shadow Garchomp, and just out of interest, how powerful would that get? I mean, pretty powerful. I seem to be biased towards ground and rock type attackers for my highest DPS, and I don't really understand why that is, but it must just be the community days that I played the most intensely on, and I do need to tidy up those Gible from that community day all that time ago. Like, in comparison, I played Tepig Community Day, and I didn't go nearly as, didn't play for nearly as intensely as I did with the Gible, because Gibble's one of my favourite Pokemon, and it's a dragon type with quite high DPS, so Shadow Tepig, I've only got one of those, and I've got plenty of candy, so let's evolve Tepig into, Tepig, oh, my plan is Tepig, and then the third one is Emboar. What's the one in the middle? may have noticed that the setup is back to normal and the mic quality is back to what it was as well. And that's because, well, I've changed my setup back to what it was, and I've changed my mic back to the actual XLR microphone setup, and that's actually not really through choice. The Bluetooth microphone that I bought isn't compatible with the device that I film with, the phone that I film with. This is my mobile phone, and then I'm filming with an old one, which I've kept. I did try to sell it, but they wouldn't accept it because the battery on it is completely broken and it has to stay connected to power all the time. But anyway, Big Night is the middle stage between Tepig and Emboar. Oh, the sun's gone in. Oh well. And then we can spare 100 candy to evolve Big Night into Emboar quite easily. Cool, Shadow Emboar, nice. And I don't have any other Shadow Tepig to delete, so we can leave that in place. Shadow Gligar, and this Gligar is actually really great IVs, so definitely evolving into Gliscor using a Sinnoh Stone. Pow. I've got so many Sinnoh Stones in my item pack, and I don't really want to get rid of them because I feel like they're more valuable than a Pokeball. So I quite often delete Pokeballs and just keep great Ultra Balls and items like Sinnoh Stones, and I don't know, they've added like mushrooms and stuff now, haven't they? I'm still figuring it out. It's been years since I've been on the game. Shadow Gliscor, another ground type Pokemon. Yeah, Gliscor's a pretty cool design actually. He's quite spooky, isn't he, really? Okay, Shadow Spheal. I already evolved a Shadow Walrein, so I think this one can be a straight deletion. But Dratini, do I have a Shadow Dragonite? Shadow Dragonite. I don't have a Shadow Dragonite, but I do have a Shadow Dragonair, which, well, has 96% IVs, so that one is definitely evolving into Dragonite. It's marked for evolution during a community day. If memory serves me correctly, there's only one at the end of the year, isn't there, that lets you get all the special moves, so I'm not really, I'm not as invested as I was. As I said, I'm going back to a free-to-play approach, just taking it more chilled. But still, it's cool to have a 96 IV Shadow Dragonite. And just out of interest, if I were to max it out, it would go up to 4,268 combat power. But I don't have the XL candy for that, so never mind. But this Dratini can be transferred to the Professor. Okie dokie. Snivy, another community day Pokemon with, that's one with not great IVs. Do I have another Shadow Snivy? I have 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this 2-star one is the highest combat power and the best IVs, so this one is the winner, and let's evolve it. The middle stage is Servine, isn't it? So 25 candy from Snivy to Servine. I never really know what to say when they're evolving, but the animation's quite nice. I don't know if I'd call it sort of relaxing, but it's pleasant to look at least. Shadow Servine, and then 100 more candy into Survivor. What was I going to say about Survivor? I think there was quite a strong trading card in the DCG Pocket app. There was a Survivor, wasn't there? I don't know. Again, another game that I dabbled in, free to play, and I didn't want to get, I had just given up spending money on Pokémon Go, and I didn't want to start spending money on Pokémon DCG Pocket. Here we are with Drilbur, Shadow So this actually is an update that I hadn't seen. I had no idea that there were these new tabs at the bottom. And just out of interest, I also had no idea that there was a shiny Golett in the game. Again, it's been so long. Let's check out the information. The automaton Pokemon. There we go. Although ancient people apparently built it by working with clay, the source of its energy remains unclear. Interesting. And then it evolves into Golurk. Nice. Okay. Well, let's evolve a Shadow Golurk. And as I'm doing this now, I realise there was a purified tab on that Pokédex entry as well, wasn't there? So for me to max out the Pokédex, I'd need to get a purified one of each of them as well. Okay, well, I'm slightly wishing that I hadn't transferred some of those spare Shadow ones that I had, but, you know, I'm not approaching this as a completionist. There we go, Shadow Golurk. Seeing as that was my only one, I'm not going to purify that. But Tyrunt, I have two of. And, you know, they both have the exact same attack stat, and as far as I know, the only reason you want to keep a Shadow is for the attack stat anyway, so I guess it doesn't make too much difference, really. It's Tyrantrum, isn't it, the evolution, and I don't know if I've ever evolved a Tyrunt before, so this might be another new Dex entry for me. Yeah, it turns out I've never evolved a Tyrantrum before, and my first one will be this Shadow one right here. But let's go through to... oh, I'll confirm that. Let's purify this Tyrunt. There he is, all sparkly. And now I'll evolve. Oh wait, actually, I didn't check how much candy I had. I don't think I want to invest basically all of my Tyrunt candy into purifying, while evolving my purified one. Because, no, I don't have any. I don't actually have any other Tyrunt worth evolving. That one can definitely go. Okay, well, I'll come back to that another time. It's not as important. This is a shadow sorting out video, not a purified Pokemon. I can't think of another word beginning with P. Never mind. Right, Barboach. Barbie. I'm a Barboach girl in a Barboach world. Well, there we go, I've got a hundo there. And this is my only Shadow, so let's evolve Shadow Whiscash. Whiscash, Wish. Is it Wish or Whiz? But it's probably Whiz, isn't it? Like Whisker. Because it's a catfish with whiskers. Whiscash. Yeah, Whiscash. Brilliant. Cool. Yeah, I'll leave that as is. It's my only Shadow Whiscash at the moment. I basically got jump scared by this thing when I caught it as a reward. I've never seen that before ever. That must be a relatively new one. Oh, and you know, this was a nice surprise as well. I remember like when Dialga got added to the game, everyone was so excited. Anyway, Trapinch. Okay, I've got a few. I have got a few here. Oh wow, 98%. That's pretty good. But which of these Trapinch do I want to evolve? I guess it's this one that's marked for the community day. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, let's rename it and evolve it into Vibrava. I don't remember. It's a weird. It's one of the good evolutions, that. Yeah, Vibrava. And then the evolution from there, Flygon. Nice, Shadow Flygon. Yeah, cool. Do I want to purify? Yeah, why not? Why not? I've just realised I'm completing a task by purifying these as well. So it's probably worth doing actually. I'm going to get some sort of reward for doing it anyway. Purified Vibrava. There he is. You can really see the clouds clearly because Vibrava, sort of, the animation of Vibrava kind of moves it further to the edges. And then, there we go, Purified Flygon incoming. Nice. I wonder if I need to keep these to, keep them in the Dex entry, or if it's like a one and done. Like now that I have purified it, I've seen the purified version, and I can remove it from my collection because I don't exactly have a lot of space I don't have a lot of space to keep Pokemon that I'm not interested in keeping. Tentacool into Tentacruel. I wonder if they're frustrated that they used some of the easiest sort of wordplay early on, but they seem to be doing quite well with keeping up the sort of punny names. I caught a Fido the other day, which was something that I wasn't familiar with before, and Fido being a common name for a dog, and bred dough, so he's a little pastry puppy. Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever actually. That must be a new one. Again, I don't have a Scooby. That's a pretty good, Great League Joltik. But anyway, let's evolve it into Galvantula. Another good wordplay name actually, Galvanize and Tarantula. Maybe they're not going to struggle as much as I initially thought with the wordplay names. Anyway, Galvantula, and it looks like it might be a good one for some sort of league. Let's see, how close does it get to? 1491. Not bad. I must have missed that Joltik because I went down to Flygon and Tentacruel without sorting that one. But here we go. Pineco, Pineco, and this evolves into Fortress, like forest and fortress. Very good. This is a few generations old, isn't it? This is Gen 2 or 3. I quite like Pineco. He's obviously a pine cone. He sort of has that same vibe as Metapod, where the middle stage is effectively useless. It's just like a static object, but the one before is quite cute, and then it evolves into something, reasonably useful or interesting looking. But yeah, I should have checked to see if I had other. Well, I've done it now, haven't I? And I'm not going to purify that Pineco. Shadow Garchomp, did I scroll down to that, or have I got 2? No, I scrolled down to it. Darumaka. Pretty good, that's quite a strong Darumaka. Let's evolve it into Darmanitan. Is it Darmanitan? It's not Dalmatian, is it? Like Dalmatian? Like Darumaka Dalmatian? My memory's failing me. Yeah, Darmanitan. Shadow Darmanitan with pretty good IVs, honestly. I don't really have the candy to evolve a Mora, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to evolve a Shadow Oshawott. Well, I only have the one, so Oshawott into. Can I remember the name of the middle stage for Oshawott? I know that it's Samurott at the end. Is it something like? Is it something with ninja? No, do-ot. I like do. Yeah, do, mortar, do, and otter. Very good. And then into samurai otter. I could be reading all the dex entries for these Pokemon, but I feel like I should save the dex entries for like community days or like a special like collection video or something. My favourite Pokemon. Okay, let me just do a quick check to see if there was anything else I wanted to evolve. Okay, let's finish with this Rolt actually. That's got great IVs, so yeah, we'll evolve Rolt into Curlier. And, well, I already have a Shadow Gardevoir, so let's go Sinnoh Stone.